two in college baseball, really, and then playing Oregon State and giving it everything they had. Didn't play real well as far as offensively. I thought we pitched great. But, I've thought about those things and, a play here or there, a pitch here or there. But really, just the last series, it was probably a lot of situations where we just didn't drive in runs. We didn't hit a whole lot, but we had a couple opportunities to chip another run here or there in, and we didn't do it. And, it ended the way it did. But just what a great bunch of guys. So proud of them. So proud of the coaches, the players. I mean, even our whole staff, from the managers. And I told them that after the season ended in the locker room, that just we didn't have to tell them what to do, starting down with setting up the machines for practice or setting up the field. It was just we were in a rhythm, and it rolled pretty good. And just so proud of the fans, too. The fans were incredible. I've been to Omaha when LSU's been there, and I used to think, wow, look at this. This is crazy. Our fans, we were better. And, I mean, I never thought I could say that. And, it would have been interesting if LSU would have been there, how that would have turned out. That would have been a battle to get in those stadiums. And but our fans were incredible. They showed up all year at Baum Stadium, on the road, and then obviously in Omaha, and they made everybody proud. And I bet I've gotten 300 texts from people all over the country. I've gotten emails. I've gotten 30 handwritten letters, which is kind of unusual today, and they've been anywhere from California, Omaha, Florida. I've even had a couple people from Oregon tell me that they're Razorback fans now. So it's it's a little bit of reflecting, but I really think that I'll think about it a little bit later. Just got to get through the summer, got to get the right players here so we have a chance to get back.
How big do you think Nate Thompson was for this team in his first year?
I think he did a great job. What Nate inherited was exactly what I told him when I was called him last year. If you take this job, you're going to get a really good bunch of hitters. And I think when he walked in the door here, he kind of realized that. And then when all of a sudden the players show up and you're dealing with older kids that are kind of set in their ways a little bit, or they've been coached one way, there was a little bit of friction there at first as far as the older guys, buying into some of the things that he wanted to do. And I told him that would happen. I've been seeing it. I've been around too long, I guess. And the younger guys, they're fine. They love it all. They're like a big sponge. And then they slowly warmed up to Nate, honestly. And it probably took a few weeks into the spring for some of the older guys. And you think about it, some of the older guys didn't get off to very good starts. And then they start asking for a little bit more help. But, he thinks out of the box a little bit. And, there's still a lot of things we need to work on. I love the power aspect. I love the chance, for us to elevate the ball on certain days when the wind's blowing out or just normal days. We've got to, and we've talked about it, we've got to do a better job of taking a walk, and we've got to do a better job of two-strike hitting, and that'll be something that will be emphasized and has already been talked about with the group that left here that's coming back. But we'll put that in this fall and try to do a better job in that part of hitting. But overall, I think he did a great job for the first year coming in to a team with a lot of expectations and a lot of veteran hitters that have been coached, some of them by 3 different people now.
What's Hunter Wilson's summer?
He's not playing summer ball. He's probably back down on the farm down there in Spiro with a cowboy hat on and some spurs, working and baling hay. I don't know what he's doing down there, but Hunter's a great kid, great teammate. Going to have a lot of competition again for him this year, and he seems to show up and fight it every year. So, he's just working.
Casey Murray, he obviously had a good year at third. I know he's versatile.
Yeah.
But could you see him going to second, or is he a fixture at third, or kind of what's the deal there?
Well, we already know he can play third. He played shortstop in high school. We're going to give him an opportunity to play short this fall and some second. I think, unless he proves that he can do it, I'm talking about down the road professional baseball, because obviously he's going to have that ahead of him in 2 years. I see him as a middle infielder and second baseman at the next level. But I think at this level, if he can show that he can be consistent, I think he would be a great shortstop, as will Kinley. So I'm going to let those two guys battle it out. We've got Jacob Nesbitt, who we redshirted last year, is coming back, and a couple other high school kids coming in that played shortstop in their high school and summer ball. But One of them will probably move more to be a third baseman, and the other one's more of a second baseman. So, that's what we'll do with Casey, is let him have that opportunity all fall to play in the middle.
The transfer from SEMO, could he be in the mix at second, or is he more of a...
No, he would be. If his arm's not – if he can throw, he'll be more than in the mix. And so, we're we may not be done recruiting either. We still have time. So maybe something else is going to happen. We'll see how that goes. We'll know in a while.
How'd you feel like your recruiting class came through the draft? I mean, you obviously lost, a couple good players.
We lost two, and we knew we were going to lose Josh Bro. He wanted $1 million. We knew halfway through the season that he was going to get $1 million, and he ended up getting like $1.5 million. So we figured that he wouldn't be here, and then we lost a pitcher, Beasley, out of South Arkansas, and he's a guy that big kid, really good arm. We kind of figured that he would sign. Was a guy that if he'd have come in here, we think that it would have been a year or two out. Not a lot of command there yet, but a lot of upside. And sometimes there's guys that if you really take a step back, that maybe need to be in the minor leagues. And he felt like that might be the best step for him, and we're happy for him. But as far as the class coming through, we feel good about it. We've had a couple of guys in our class that we signed in the fall, more than a couple that are going to go to junior college because there's too many people in front of them. Maybe there was a grade issue or have to wait all summer to get right. And you just don't want to bring in too many kids, or even one that you don't know if they're going to make it academically. I don't want to have that issue here. And then a couple on the other side that we've just talked with them and felt like with what we have coming back and maybe transferring in, it might be best to go to JUCO for a year or two. So we've tried to cut down some of the numbers. Then on the other side, we got a few walk-on pitchers and a couple of walk-on players that that they'll be out there this fall, but maybe realistically they're looking at a red shirt, and they've been told that in advance.
Connor Holland, the only dual sport guy that you got.
Yeah, and that'll be, we'll just see how that goes. Obviously, we feel like Connor, if he was just playing baseball, he'd be one of our top recruits and right in the middle of it. I think we'll see how it progresses for him with the football team and what his role is there. Is he redshirted? Is he the starter or somewhere in between? And hopefully we can get him down there. Then you're talking spring football. You're talking a pitcher who throws the football. It's a lot of stress on an arm. We'll see how it goes this first year.
So his status is just pretty much up in the air for you next year.
Yeah, well, I've got him on our roster. I've got him listed on our roster, and we have plans for him. But it's I don't know. He's on a football scholarship. If he wasn't on a football scholarship, he'd be on a baseball scholarship. I would have given him a baseball scholarship. So we'll just see how that all plays out.
Do you think Jared Gates was done playing before he signed with Baltimore?
We were trying to help him out. I didn't. We had a couple of teams that that either had released some people or had injuries, and they were looking for an older guy to go help their team. And obviously the Orioles signed him. We were hoping that we could, do the same for Luke. Luke's got a couple things in the fire right now, Bonfield, but hasn't happened yet. But Gates, if you just took the second half of the season, he had a really good year, and his defense was really good and got some big hits. And it's we wouldn't have made it to Omaha without Jared Gates getting hot like he did.
How many days have you taken off since you got back from Omaha?
What do you mean taking off?
I mean, have you taken any days off?
To do what?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Can't really take any days off when your phone's ringing and you're trying to get a roster going. I mean, there's been a couple here or there, probably a Sunday here, Sunday there, but a lot of times we're recruiting. I'm going to Kansas City in a couple of days, and then I'm going to Cary for a couple of days to see some of the young 15-year-olds play, like the 90, some of the best in the country. It's just a good place to see them all. They're trying out for the 15 and under team, so that'll be a nice event. Not much, but that's just the way the job works right now. There's, a lot of times when teams finish their season, they get a little bit of a break. That's not the way baseball is, because the kids we recruit, they're playing in the summer. football gets done, usually the high school kids are done, so they recruit different times. It's just basketball plays during basketball season. We play in high school season play when the high school kids are playing, but then the summer ball is where they all go play on teams together, and you can see 7 or 8 on a team that are Division I quality if you go to the right places, which usually is Atlanta or South Texas or Florida. I've been to, a couple places in Florida. Coach Thompson and Coach Johnson have been back and forth to Atlanta. Nate's on his 3rd trip. Wes has been there 3 times and getting ready to go to Houston. And we were in the office for the first time. We called a quick meeting Sunday afternoon where all 3 of us were in the office at the same time, the first time since the season ended, just to go over recruiting and get on the same page again and who's going to go where the next 3 weeks.
So you've basically been on the go ever since the season ended.
Yeah.
Okay, I know that you and Coach and Hunter Yurachek have had conversations. When you look at what you want from a facility standpoint, where are those conversations at with him?
Oh, those conversations are well on their way. Drawings have been drawn up and redrawn, and some changes. And Hunter's all in. Razorback Foundation will help, raise the money for this. Is all in, and they're working hard. They've met with me a couple of times and our staff, and it would be a great addition, to this ballpark. And like I said, it's 90% for the players, I guess, and you could say our staff, because that's where our offices would end up being, and we'd be right there with them. And there's a lot involved in that building, and just making it look right in our ballpark and wrapping it around that right field area. And there would be some things for fans as well where they could stand and walk all the way around almost to the scoreboard. And it changes a little bit here and there, but it's really about a new weight room for the baseball players and a nutrition area and the locker room. And we'd put our pitching development area over there, and it'd open up some things over here. It would open a lot up underneath too. Remember that fans, maybe, a lot of these stadiums, if you go around now, they have some amenities for, boosters and fans to go under, and maybe even a restaurant type things. There's a lot of things they could do if they moved us around a little bit. So we're excited about it. We've been approved to go ahead and talk about it with recruits, because that's what we're dealing. All you have to do is get online and look at Mississippi State Stadium, and you just kind of get blown away. How do you they already had a field, and they kept the field and the scoreboard, and they're spending $60 more million. That's amazing, So, it's not like we're just trying to keep up with them. We're just trying to make it so when we get a kid on campus, they feel really good about what's going on here. Then they feel like that the baseball program is important and highly supported. Obviously they come to game, they know how special it is, and that's what I tell them all. This is a nice stadium, but what makes this stadium special is that it's full of people, and I still believe that. So we're gonna try to get that rolling and go out and talk to people this fall, and whenever they say we can, the board has to approve some things, but when they get it right and we get enough, I guess, money up front, we'll break ground.
I think you said in Harrison, it might be till after fall ball you can really reflect on